The long journey of building a community garden. Lucas had always been a person full of ideas, but he often struggled to turn those ideas into reality. He lived in a small city where most people worked long hours and had little time to connect with their neighbors. One day, after reading an article about urban farming, Lucas had a vision. He wanted to create a community garden where people could grow vegetables, share food, and learn from each other. At first, the project seemed impossible. Lucas had no land, little money, and almost no support. But he believed that a big dream could start with a small step. He decided to treat the project like a long-term activity, one that required planning, patience, and teamwork. The first steps. Lucas began by researching. He spent weeks reading about soil, seeds, irrigation, and sustainable farming methods. He realized that creating a community garden was not just about planting vegetables, it was about building a space where people could feel a sense of belonging. He then wrote a detailed project plan. It included stages: finding a location, gathering volunteers, collecting resources, and finally starting the planting. He presented the plan to the local council. At first, the officials were skeptical, but Lucas showed them how the garden could help families save money, improve nutrition, and create stronger social ties. After several meetings, the council agreed to lend him an abandoned plot of land near the library. Challenges in teamwork. Lucas knew he could not do everything alone. He organized a meeting with his neighbors to explain his idea. Only a few people came, but they were enthusiastic. One of them, Mrs. Ramirez, was a retired teacher who loved gardening. Another, David, was a carpenter willing to build wooden boxes for planting. Slowly, more volunteers joined. The first real challenge was cleaning the land. The place was full of trash, weeds, and broken furniture. It took several weekends of hard work to make it usable. Some people quit because the work was too hard, but others stayed. Lucas reminded everyone that long projects require persistence, and that every small effort was part of the larger goal. Learning by doing. As the garden began to take shape, Lucas realized that the process was also an educational journey. Children learned where food came from, adults discovered new vegetables, and everyone practiced teamwork. Mistakes happened often: plants died, water pipes broke, insects destroyed some crops, but each mistake was a lesson. Lucas kept a project journal where he wrote down what worked and what didn't. He shared this journal during weekly meetings, encouraging people to reflect on their progress. He understood that reflection was essential for any long-term activity. Growth and success. After months of effort, the first vegetables appeared: tomatoes, lettuce, carrots, and beans. The community was proud. Families began to cook with fresh ingredients, and neighbors who had never spoken before now shared recipes and meals. The garden even hosted small cultural events, such as poetry readings and art workshops, making it more than just a place for plants. Lucas realized that the community garden had become a living project, one that would continue to grow and evolve with time. It was not perfect, but it was meaningful. The experience taught him that the true reward of a long activity is not just the final result, but the process of learning, collaborating, and building something together. Conclusion. Lucas's journey proved that even the most ambitious projects can succeed when they are approached with patience, teamwork, and a clear vision. The community garden was not just about food, it was about connection, perseverance, and shared growth. For Lucas, the biggest lesson was simple: long projects are not about how fast you finish, but about how deeply you grow during the process.